We switch in English.
Please.
To be more inclusive to everyone.
To the worldwide audience.
Yes. So we are, what's the topic today of the Tech Talk, Moab?
It's not a case study. It's not a methodology. No. The script I received from our production team look like Sorint is continuing its unquestionable educational initiative, schooling, a hub for education. Sorint would be. Looks like Sorint is preparing a web security program for professionals, a complementary, free program, which is splits into several webinars targeting different fields and domains in the web development world, specifically the security area, where we will be talking to developers, team leaders, software architects, application managers, developers, agile coaches, product owners, CEOs, CTOs. Looks like a big program coming up with clear objectives on company level and on individual level. Clear objectives and outcomes, value to those areas. Attempt to shift security left in the development methodologies or phase to cultivate
around our approach to security in the IT department, so in the software development.
Exactly. To cultivate a security culture, to add new techniques, new findings, latest methodologies, all from real life examples and case studies of our prominent clients. We're talking about big banks, big retailers, big names in the industry. Before I invite our guests and the people behind the program, I would like to tell Sorintians who are watching us now live through this, yes, it's Friday. If you have any question related to the program, please write it on the YouTube chat, and I will try to ask it to the people behind the program. Let's invite Cesare Pizzi, Head of Web Security at Sorint, Luigi Leoni, Head of DevOps Engineering, Luca Famà, Application Security Consultant, Simone Rossi, Head of Agile Practices.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
So let's start with Cesare Pizzi. One of the webinars in this program is talking to developers. Cesare.
Yeah.
Why? First question, why?
Yes, because we decided to get rid of the losing approach of fixing bugs, security bugs, when the application is completed and during the VAPT, as a lot of people, or let's say a lot of projects are doing right now, but we want to be smarter and try to fix bugs before we are reaching this part, because it's more cost effective, it's faster, it's even smarter, as I said, because you avoid to leave wrong things in the code because they are bugs at all effects. So we are trying to get better software, and obviously we have to speak with the developers for doing that and to teach them how to approach this part, because it's a bit different view on how to code safely and securely, and so we need to teach to developers in doing that, and that's the real focus of our proposal here.
And of course, our target are front-end and back-end developers. Of which seniority level are we talking? Juniors, mid?
Let's say that we are speaking to everyone, so the sooner the better. If you are a junior developer, I think that you can get something out of this webinar as well, even if maybe it's a bit more, could be a bit more complex on specific topics. But as I said, since this is more an approach of, let's say, a mindset more than specific knowledge, even if it's specific knowledge is also required, I think that everybody can leverage and have something that can help him in his work in these webinars.
Come out with a new knowledge, new techniques, new methodologies for anyone. So you're inviting anyone from 0 or 1 year up until whatever seniority level you are. Valuable education is always valuable in our industry.
Let me add that we finally see the security and software developer joining the forces and works together. This is the best thing.
Luca, Famà, we have a one-day consultation.
Yes, correct. So yeah.
How does it go? How does it go? Like, what are we going to cover with the representative of these companies? What are we going to talk about? What do we need to know from them, and what is the input we're going to output we're going to give them?
Sure. This one-day consultation task has the main goal, let's say, to first of all gather information about the company in regard to their maturity level about secure coding practices, because as we all know, nowadays building secure application is not easy at all, as security risks arise continuously. So in order to minimize security risk, we need to approach software in a different way. Specific software development with let's say we need to approach software development with security in mind. And this requires several tasks. It's not something that can happen in just one day. Among these tasks, I can mention, for example, threat modeling and risk analysis. This is happening usually during the design phase of the application. There is also, during the implementation, we need to integrate security tools such as SAST, SCA, and other security tools to automate the discovery and the detection of vulnerability in CI/CD pipelines before the vulnerability can reach the production. It's also another important task is to understand the security knowledge level of developers, and also addressing possible lacks of knowledge in specific security topics by providing security training, for example, or workshops to developers. So what we will do in this one-day consultation, at the end we will evaluate all of this, and will provide the customer with a document that describes their maturity level in terms of secure coding best practices, and also with a high-level overview of possible steps that they need to undertake in order to start or to improve their shift in security left journey.
Okay. I don't want to go much into details, Luca, for the time, but I want to understand from you. One of the things written for this one-day consultation is understanding of web race condition and the threats.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, what is that exactly?
Yes, this is just one. Yes, we wanted to mention one important, I will consider an important security issue discovered by a security researcher in the recent time, like in the recent months. So basically, a web race condition is a bug, is a vulnerability class that was not known, was already known even before. But what happened in the last months is that this security researcher found a much clever and reliable way to exploit this vulnerability. So it's something that anyone that builds software should be aware. So first of all, you need to understand what is a web race condition, and you need to understand if your application can be vulnerable to this. Because now, due to the discovery of these security researchers, it's much easier for an attacker perspective to perform an attack and succeed in attacking the application. It was harder before because there were no tools, there were a lot of technical details, hard to implement. But now, thanks to this new research, this vulnerability became much more dangerous. So we wanted to mention, and we also prepared a specific workshop with deep dive about this vulnerability, how it works, how you can detect it, and more importantly, how you can prevent.
So this is one of them. Please.
Sorry, this is again the reason why we build the initiatives to join the forces between security and developers, because as mentioned by Luca, this vulnerability is well known in the security environment, and now it's well known that this is a new level of the issues, because they discovered how to use the vulnerability. So, and in what we are seeing in our consultancy in the customers is that there is no enough cover of this kind of issues in the software development team. This is really the problem. We cannot wait to discover a problem in production with this kind of vulnerability. we want to stop the problem before, as mentioned by Cesare. But this is a very big issue. This kind of compelling event of this vulnerability is a huge.
Can cause disastrous cost or time or even brand repetition issues.
Yeah, and the target who needs to know the security problem are the developers, not only the security guy. This is the problem. Sorry.
So now it's very vulnerable. So what we understood from Luca, Famà, is that we're going to do one-day consultation, asking several questions about the environment, understanding the application, briefly the threat model, situation there is, there isn't, dig deep inside it to understand it, the tools you're using, are we utilizing it correctly? And afterward, we're going to give you some sort of a documentation that breaks down our advice from our security people on your current state. How can you move forward from there? Let's go for the CI/CD. Luigi Leoni, part of the program, covers a webinar about CI/CD engineering and the vulnerabilities exposed from this area. Can you tell us more?
We will talk about the security on the pipeline, because also the definition of a pipeline involves the security, because the pipeline itself could be affected by security issue. So, for example, misconfiguration or something like that, execution, the pipeline execution that can be executed by a privileged user, and the execution of code block that we develop, but also a customer can already add on their pipeline, on production, that it's affected by possible security issue, like for example injection. So you can trigger a pipeline and with the parameter and so on. Then you can also, if your pipeline is not so secure, you can inject other step or other code block that could affect the system where the pipeline run, and other stuff like that. So, as mentioned by Luca before, also on the CI/CD and on the pipeline, we need to add more block or more step to prevent security issue on the dependency library used by the application and so on. But also the pipeline itself need to be secure, because if you run a pipeline as a root user, for example, you can do everything on the system where they run and so on.
Your app is secured, but your pipeline exposes some sort of vulnerabilities. Exactly. And of course, we're going to be discussing examples on things your department sees every day, your circle sees every day with other pipelines for other clients. So we will be able to share this sort of knowledge, I assume.
Exactly. This is the idea and the focus where we speak.
I have a question for you, Luigi. Sorry. 10 years ago, if we are talking 10 anni fa, 10 years ago, would CI/CD security vulnerabilities be discussed in such a webinar? I mean, the vulnerabilities increased in the last 10 years, or what changed? Why is it so much involved in web security now?
Okay, so 10 years ago, the security problem were there, but the number of the pipeline and the automation, the automation is improved. So more automation, more pipeline, more CI, more CD,
more attack surface.
The problem increased about the security, because there are more users. The pipeline is more used than before. 10 years ago, there are security problems already there, but we call that scripting to automate something that we want to do not repeat manually. It's not DevOps. It's another age where the DevOps is not I don't know how
involved, not involved so much in the process.
È stato coniato il termine, so it's not
before the rise of the DevOps culture
practices.
Exactly, but the problem was there, and now it's the problem could be bigger because there are more users.
Pipelines more used, automation tools more used, automation practices. Okay, Simone Rossi, we are talking with agile coaches, product owners, product managers involved in software development. Why?
And also
I know why, but
managers. Yeah, well, we should know that security is not just developers' responsibilities, but also product owners and the people who prepares the requirements for the product. So when we try to write a user story or when we write a functional requirement, we also have to think about security issues and what are called non-functional requirements. And security is one of those. So first of all, we need to think about how we can introduce security into user stories. Like as a user, I want to input login and password. Yes, but I want to have a password which is safe. I want to be able to introduce a passphrase or use 30 characters as a password. So as a product owner, I need to specify this so I can also speak the developer's language. I introduce requirements, security requirements using developer's language. And this is for the product owner. While for the agile coach, as was already mentioned, we need to understand that the team must be cross-functional. So not developers and security experts, but they need to work together to build a product which is also not just doing features, but also safe product.
So the focal point of every activity that is happening in the software on a software development, custom software development, is through the product owner. Let's say as an example, they are the ones who would call the security department or the circle to get them involved in one of the new features that is being released or being discussed. So I think it is very important that we speak also with the agile people or the people who manage the project. I don't want to mention a specific name, but the project owners for now. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. But the security circle expert don't have to be called 1 week before the deploy to production. They need to be present since the beginning. Exactly. Like Luigi mentioned, they need to understand how to build the pipeline. So before starting coding, you need to build the pipeline. And the first thing is build a pipeline which is secure. And then you need to test the feature.
Yeah. Just to add something very, very easier to understand, because I read, we all read tons with hundreds of books talking about agile methodology, the team involving the customer, the product owner, proxy user, everything. Scrum Master methodology, discipline, and so on. Now we have the clean, very good books. The best are Clean Agile, the clean architecture, clean everything. There's no mention about security. Well, they mentioned
minimum,
but they mentioned because we have to code right. So if you code right, you can avoid problems. But there's no mention. There's no. Well, we need to include someone with the cross competence of security inside it. The security is a very huge problem. It's not something very marginal that you can see. It's part of the process. No? But there's no mention. And we have books issued in 2023 not mentioning security. It's quite incredible.
Yeah.
So we want to fill this gap. How to include into the team, the security part, how to include in every ceremony, every planning and everything else, the security topic and so on. So we want to raise the problem.
I guess part of the agenda of where we will talk with the business people or the managers or the C-level management will cover these topics, Luca. I think that we will highlight the importance of these matters and activities. Thank you all for coming, heads of all these departments or circles that are involved in the program. And please check our agenda to know more. It was very hard to cover everything in this short video production. So please check it and register for the program or for a specific webinar that is of your interest. Grazie. Thank you so much for coming, Cesare, Luigi, Luca, Famà, Simone, Rossi.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's all, Luca.
Thank you very much to a very important topic today. The security and the software development is something very, very, very important, as mentioned. Thank you to you, Mohab, and thanks to everyone. See you next time in the next.
Thank you. Thank you, Luca.
Bye.